This is what come off the Jeep Renegade, and these are the new front pads and rotors. So let's replace them step by step and make sure this brake job is done right. So the Jeep Renegade uses a lug nut with a stud instead of having the studs built into the wheel bearings. So these tools here are definitely essential when you're doing work on your Jeep Renegade. So they'll just screw in there, and then when you unbolt the rest of the lug nut / studs, the wheel just doesn't fall off. They hold it, and it helps you guide the wheel off and back on. First thing we need to do to get these brakes apart is go ahead and get the retainer screw out of the rotor here. Now it's an Allen. Normally they're pretty stuck, so you do want to use an impact driver to get this out of here. If you just put an impact on there, more than likely it's just going to round that out, and then you have to drill that out, and it becomes a big disaster. So just get yourself an impact driver, and let's get this out of here. Well, that would have worked if my bit didn't break off into the retaining screw. So I ended up having to just put a bunch of relief cuts in that set screw. And I'll show you a little bit later on how I get that rotor off. If you end up having to do what I had to do here, when you're making these cuts, just keep an eye on them because you do not want to cut too deep where you're cutting into that wheel bearing flange. All you need to do is cut into the head of that set screw. Now we need to go ahead and remove the caliper bolts. So this one and this one. And make sure you have something ready to hang your caliper. So either a hook or a bungee cord, something to hang it so you're not hanging it from the brake line. Next is your caliper bracket bolts, this one and this one. Turn your wheel out so then you can get an impact back there, or if you need to break a bar or whatnot, it's a lot easier with the wheel turned outwards so you can get to these bolts. Okay, with that caliper bracket and caliper out of the way, I'm going to turn the rotor till that set screw is where the caliper would normally be. And just like that, you break the head of that set screw off. I do want to get that set screw completely out because I'm going to go ahead and put another one in there. When you're doing the brake job, it just makes it a lot easier having that because it holds the rotor in place since you do not have any studs. Okay, now it's time to go ahead and clean the mating surface of this hub. If you don't do that, it can cause that rotor not to sit flush on that hub and cause issues and wear in your brakes down the road. So if you want to have good brakes and you want them to last a long time, go ahead and take the extra step to just go ahead and clean this hub off. What I have here, this cleans the hub. I'm just going to go ahead and put it on my bit driver. I will link all the tools and parts that I'm using in this video in the description. So if you guys want to check those out, that's where they'll be. So let's go ahead and get this cleaned off. Now it's time to go ahead and get the new rotors on there. So I'm going to go ahead and screw these back in there so it holds the rotor in place. I also got another retaining bolt since we had a lot of issues with the last one. So we got another retaining bolt. It just helps hold that rotor on there when we're putting the brakes back together. Now before we toss the new rotors on there, the rotors come with a film on it. So you want to go ahead and take some brake clean and have a rag handy, spray it off, and then wipe the rotors down. Get all that off there. Go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Okay, now that the rotor's cleaned off, now we can go in and toss it on there. Okay, before we stick the new retainer screw in here to hold this rotor, I'm going to go ahead and take a little NICs and stick on it, just so we don't have that problem if we go to take it apart again, where we have to cut that all up and get another one. So let's hopefully this keep that from happening again. Just like that. Now, before we get too far, let's go ahead and return the piston on the caliper. Now, it is a good idea, before you do this, to go ahead and take the cap off the brake master cylinder reservoir. And if the fluid is very full, take something to suck some of that fluid out, because when we return this piston, it's going to push fluid up. So you can use like just a turkey baster, or find something just to kind of suck up some of that fluid. So now what I do, there's a fancy tool that you can return this, and I've never used it. Out of the 15 plus years of being a mechanic, I just old school way. Take a C-clamp, put the old pad in here. Okay, a quick tip. If this isn't returning, break your bleeder screw loose and see if the caliper will return. If the caliper still doesn't return, it's a bad caliper. If it does return with the brake bleeder screw loose, then it's this, probably more than likely this hose that is damaged, and that's going to be replaced. Okay, now it's time to go ahead and get the brake caliper ready. So what you need to do is get the old pads off there. Now sometimes they're stuck, and I'll just knock them out with a hammer. And then your brakes come with new brake clips. So sometimes these are also stuck, and I'll just tap them off with the hammer like that. Now what you need to do is go ahead and clean in here where the brake clips sit. If that's not cleaned properly, then you're gonna have issues getting the brake pads on there. And then if the brake pads are really tight when you're using your brakes, then they're not gonna return out properly, and they're gonna stay kind of stuck on, and they're gonna wear your pads out really fast. So you wanna make sure all this is cleaned really well. So what I'm gonna do is just take a wire brush here and try to get it all cleaned up. Now all you're doing is taking off any of the rust, grime, anything like that. Now if it seems like there's still a lot of rust buildup, you can take a file and you can clean that rust buildup off. Now, you just gotta be very careful, because you're just trying to get the rust off there, so then the pads sit in there good and they're free moving back and forth. So if it does look a little nasty, you can take a file and just clean that rust up. Okay, so we got all the rust built up off of that. Now you do the same for the other side. All right, those are all cleaned up. Now before we put the brake clips back on there, let's go ahead and pull the pins here. Now when you take these out, you want to make sure you put them back in the same spot, because if you look here, this one is one way, and this one over here is another way. This one has a little piece of rubber on it. So make sure they go back into the same location. So what you're going to do is just go ahead and pull them off. And if there's a bunch of rust and crud on them, you want to go ahead and clean them up as best you can. You can use a little bit of sandpaper and just work around it, clean them up, and then go ahead and grease them up. So what I'm going to do here, you don't need to go crazy on it. You just need to put a light coating around it just to make sure they're greased and ready to go. You don't really need to put any grease on the end because then it will not want to go down in there and it want to keep returning out. So then, and you probably won't get the caliper bolted up too because that keeps this slide pin sticking out too far. So let's go ahead and get that one back in there, make sure it works fine. Now let's go ahead and grease up the other one. That's good to go. Now let's go ahead and get the new brake clips on there. Let's get some of this out of here. I like to take a little bit of brake grease here and put them on the bracket before I put the brake clips on. I don't have to go crazy, just a light coating. And then we'll get these brake clips on, just like that. Just like that. Now we'll take a light bit of grease and put on your brake clips. You don't have to go crazy, just a tad bit is plenty. Okay, now it's time. I'm gonna go ahead and put the brake pads on there. I like to set the brake pads on there, then I'll bolt all this stuff up. So you gotta pay attention because sometimes the pads are labeled. This one's left inner, and this one is outer. So we need to make sure we put these in the right location. Not all of them are labeled, but if they are, make sure you put them in the right place. See how easy that pad fits in there? Because you got all that rust and gunk off this bracket. If you don't do that, then it's a fight to put these pads in there. So make sure you just clean up these caliper brackets as best as you can. Also, do not grind down the pads. I've seen a lot of people grind down pads. I've had vehicles come into the shop, my brakes are making noises because they grind down the pads and they don't clean up the bracket, and then they start making noise. So don't do that. Just clean up the bracket. All right, both pads went in there, very easy. So now we can go ahead and get this back on the vehicle. As soon as you get that on there, just squeeze these brakes so the pads don't fall off, and you can get the bolts in there. Now I'm just going to snug these up with impact, and then I'm going to go back and torque those to spec. Hold the brake pads. Now we're going to go ahead and torque these two bolts to 122 foot-pounds. Now once these two are torqued, we can go ahead and put the caliper on the caliper bracket. Same with these. I'm going to go ahead and snug these up, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the torque wrench on there and torque these to 20 foot-pounds. Okay, since your wheel studs are on your lug nuts, make sure you have your studs located in there. Now, you can use just all thread, and you can kind of thread those in there, and that works also. But these tools are really nice to have. So I used to use all thread, and I just went ahead and bought these tools. So go ahead and get 3 of your lug nuts ready. Put the studs in here, and then we're going to go ahead and slide the wheel on there. Don't forget to take your hook off or your bungee cord. Or get your light out of there. Don't forget to do that. I've done that, drove away with the light, and lost my expensive light. So don't forget your lights. Having these make it really easy to get the wheel on there. If you tried to put this wheel on without having these tools before, you know it's a very big pain to get that on there. Now it's time to go ahead and torque the wheels to spec. I like to lower the vehicle just so the tires touching the ground, so when you torque it, it doesn't spin. I feel like when you torque it down with all the weight on it, sometimes the wheel doesn't go back on there straight. So I like to just put a little bit of weight on it so it's touching the ground, and then I'll go ahead and kind of do every other. So I'm torquing these to 100 foot-pounds. So I'll skip every other here. And then I just do a circle all the way around just to make sure they are good to go. Just like that. Okay, there it is, guys. We are all done doing the brakes on this Jeep Renegade. Now, there are a couple things you need to do before you go out and test drive this vehicle. Go ahead and top off your brake fluid to the proper level if it needs topped off. And before you do anything else, pump the brakes. Make sure you have a brake pedal before you take that out and test drive it and go anywhere. So once you pump the brakes, go ahead and take it out for a good test drive and just kind of get on the brakes here and there. Just make sure they're working properly and you don't have any noise. And then you can bring it back home, inspect everything, make sure you're good to go, and then you're good to go. So if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. And hopefully this video helped you out. You guys have a good one. Now take it easy.